Greetings, citizens of YouTube. This is Texas Phoenix 71, and we're prepping in Texas. Well, every now and then it's good to hit the reboot and kind of start over with things. My initial videos that I put up a little over a year ago and a few since then lacked a certain amount of quality to them that I really wanted to capture in this new series of videos. So you'll notice that these videos will soon be coming out and replacing the videos that I had posted up earlier, as well as new videos that will be coming out. Well, this is going to be my reintroduction video to introduce myself and let you know what I'm about and where I stand at on certain things. So, to get started, a little bit about myself. I am a retired, disabled law enforcement officer. I worked off and on in law enforcement for about 18 years in the state of Texas. At the same time, I also worked security for private companies, for celebrities, even for a movie channel, the Sci-Fi Channel actually. And altogether I have about 12 years of experience in private security, bodyguard service, and related fields. I'm also a veteran. I served in the Texas State Guard, attached to the Texas National Guard in the U.S. Army and Army Reserve for 4 years. In that time I was a military police squad leader for 2 years. Our entire brigade was transferred over into becoming a civil affairs regiment, and because I was good with computers, I ended up in a joint task force, basically a detachment to the National Guard that operated with interoperable satellite communications and video teleconferencing abilities for commanders in the field. During that time, I was deployed to Hurricane Katrina and Hurricane Rita and to the Texas-Mexico border for humanitarian operations. So, I have a varied background in public service. As does most of my relatives going back for many generations. I have a long, strong, proud of patriots in our family who have stepped up when the country called and served in the military or in various capacities in the government. At the same time, I'm also an ordained minister. I received my ordination from the Universal Life Church in 2001. I'm ordained as a minister of secular humanism. And I try to teach life truths and try to live them to the best of my ability. Since an early age, I've been involved with business management. My family owned a construction company, which I helped to manage and maintain all through my teenage years into young adulthood. And I also picked up a family-owned gun business. After my father had started me with good roots in the gun business and doing all the proper paperwork and checks and what have you, then I opened up my own gun business, which I ran for about 15 years. Now I'm involved with a new gun business that I started, and it's doing quite well. It's been doing well for the last 2 years, and I hope it continues to do so. So, with the introductions out of the way, let's see, what is prepping about and what am I about? Well, first off, I'm going to tell you up front, I am a staunch patriot, and I am a student of history. I am a student of human behavior. I hold a bachelor's degree in criminal justice, in addition to a master peace officer license and the experience that I've already given out to you in my law enforcement, military, private security, business management, and ministerial careers. So, I'll tell you up front, I don't like a lot of things that are going on in this country. This country is really going downhill pretty rapidly, and preppers need to be alarmed by this. They need to be prepared because things are not going to get much better in this country for some time to come. So prepping really touches on our daily life, and that's what I like to instill in people that I teach and instruct in prepping. whether it's on a personal, individual level. I believe that you should be prepared and try to prepare yourself for personal life crises that come from time to time. Whether it's a job that you lose, maybe you're laid off for a while, and it's going to be hard times for a little while. Could even be a disability such as what I'm dealing with right now. From an early age, I was raised to believe that you should have food stocks prepared, and medicine and other supplies, gasoline, things that you may need if there is a crisis in your area, and that you may find yourself in a real need of and a very short supply of. With that said, I've lived all over the Texas, actually the state of Texas. I've lived all over, from the panhandle of Texas down to the rolling hills, the Austin area and metro area. I've lived in the plains area, and in north and northwest Texas, and in west Texas. I've lived in the deserts, and I've lived in the mountains. I've lived in other states, in New Mexico, for example, in the Roswell area. And everywhere you go, and what you notice on the news, is that there are from time to time natural calamities that come up, crises that come up. It may be wildfires like we have here on the range in the Texas Panhandle, or tornadoes. In the south, you may have hurricanes down on the coast. You may have flooding in the coastal regions or in the northeast regions of Texas. And the same is true pretty much anywhere you go in the country. Some places have dangers such as earthquakes and massive snowstorms and blizzards. We just came through a blizzard here, the blizzard of 2013, about a week ago. Dropped about, I'd say probably 16 or 17 inches of snow on the Texas Panhandle. Really gridlocked things for a while. So these are things that you can prepare for and plan for, and this is a good reason to be a prepper. There are also man-made catastrophes such as riots and let's see here, the economic collapse that our government is facing. It's looming over us. The thing that we see a lot in the news here lately with these mass shootings that are being popularized and dramatized by the Democrats to achieve their gun ban and gun suppression, and really freedom and liberty suppression mandates and their beliefs. So these are things that, once again, as preppers, it behooves us to prepare ourselves for and train for. Be prepared, know what to do. Know where your exits are in a bad situation. Know when you might have to stand and fight, and be prepared to do so. Make sure that you have proper training and safety, and have your head really in the game when it comes to being able to defend yourself. Because I can assure you that the bad guy, no matter how screwed up his head is, he's got a game plan going on in there, and it may be changing from minute to minute and second to second. But definitely it's not in your advantage. And then touching back on the national level. At the national level in America, I believe we are facing a looming economic crisis, possibly a total collapse of our economic and political system. The country has social ills that it has not addressed properly. The Constitution, as it is written in 1783 to 1787 when it was adopted, the Founding Fathers knew that they had made some errors and some mistakes, and that they would have to be corrected over time. They knew that there were social ills at the time, such as slavery, women who were subjugated, and a great many other issues. Over time, what's happened is we've had to put a band-aid on these issues when they arise. It's like putting a little patch on a dam. We've done it to our Constitution, I think it's 25 or 26 times now. And the thing is really wearing thin. It's like the dam that's about to bust and go away. Well, the ability to add on to that Constitution is fine. And it was very good foresight on our Founding Fathers to do that. They knew that because they had had a previous body of government establishment, what they call the Articles of Confederation, that established the first government of the United States, which only lasted about 13 years until they realized their mistakes and adopted the Constitution. Well, we're living in a modern world, in a modern era, in which that Constitution is very well stretched thin, and it's been poked at and prodded by liberals and by people with set agendas, with big money and capitalist organizations, big corporations and wealthy elites in our society who have twisted and bent this thing to their benefit. So they continue to accrue wealth while the poor continue to remain poor and destroy the middle class, all the while bringing in and taking advantage of the certain weaknesses in it regarding the inequality between the classes of people and the different races and ethnicities that are immigrated into America. So these are things that we as preppers, we need to be cognizant of. We need to realize that we're living in uncertain times in which our government has become tyrannical, the very thing that our founding fathers set forth against, what they established our republic against. The principles that they founded have been eroded and have been undermined by these wealthy elites, these powerful corporations, and corrupt politicians. And so we find ourselves in times such as the founding fathers found themselves in the 1770s, early before the Revolutionary War began. There's talk and there's rumblings and there's commotion and there is upset and worry that we may be facing the exact same type of circumstances which led to the founding of this country. And it may be our responsibility as preppers and as patriots to be prepared in the event that it should go awry and things should develop that necessitate our stepping up as our founding fathers done originally to set us right. So all these things are paramount concerns that's part of the prepping mindset and part of the prepping lifestyle and community. In these series of videos that I'll be making, I will touch on issues that deal with each one of these concerns that preppers have to deal with, and with political issues that arise from time to time, things we see in the news that our news media is dribbling out to us, even though half of it we really can't be too trusting in and too confident in. We know that the news media is a mouthpiece of the liberal government establishment, and it works for the big bankers and the wealthy elites and the powerful corporations, just as our corrupt politicians do. So with all this said, now you know a little bit about me, what I'm about, and the fact that I'm not here to instigate insurrection. I'm not here to create a problem or become some type of a radical or to radicalize people. I'm not here to become some type of a domestic terrorist, even though the government and the establishment and the liberal news media and the corrupt politicians and the corrupt bankers and the wealthy elites, they will attempt to label people such as us patriots, us veterans, and us preppers as such. But it is still our duty, as our founding fathers said. It is not only our right, it is our duty to throw off such bonds and secure our rights and freedoms and liberties. And we are very fastly approaching that moment again in history. So with that, I will close this video out. I look forward to making some more videos, and leave me some comments. I appreciate any criticism, whether it's positive or negative. And trust me, I know that the government watches these things, and they pay attention, and they watch list us, and they put us on their little no-fly list, and their little, oh, we can't have this benefit or that benefit, or this right or that right. And some of us will be persecuted, some of us will be jailed, and some of us will be killed. But nonetheless, I urge all patriots to stay the course, because freedom isn't free. And as it has been said before, sometimes freedom must be renewed upon the blood of both the innocent and the tyrant. Thank you, and I appreciate your time.